guys, welcome back to AWMFX. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, no matter where you are. So let's look at an example over here. A trade that I took last week. So before that, I'd just like to let you guys know that a lot of you think that I always get the most perfect trade, or should I say the most profitable trade. It doesn't always like that. I do always have a loss trade too, but just that because of my risk reward ratio is quite awesome, I'm able to cover the loss. All right, means that if a single profit are able to cover many loss. So overall, because of a risk reward ratio, I always get good profit out of it. All right, so I'm going to show you an example over here. So this is a trade that I took last week. All right, so the what happens is that the price was plunging down. All right, was coming down very fast. So what I saw here is that there is a last demand zone. All right, if you look at it, this is a daily chart for a gold. So this is the last demand zone. Let me mark up for you. This is the last demand zone right here. All right, so what happens is that at this point I cannot take this zone, the whole zone, as my trading setup. Reason is because the zone is very huge. Okay, this is a daily chart, just to keep you in your mind. It's around 241 pips, so it's very big for stop loss. As you know, I don't like huge stop loss. All right, it's just my style. So what happens is that I need to go into smaller time frame to see what I can get in this green area at this place. So let me cut the chart so that's easier to recognize, right? So what happens is that this is the problem. If we switch it to H4, all right, most of the time when we switch it to H4, we just know there is only one zone, one place that we're gonna take the trade. That will be here, right? That will be here. Let me make it into a different color. So a lot of people will just say that this will be my area. All right, this will be my area. So the problem with this chart, all right, I'm using a Sesho, this one called what, the data provider. So what happened is that not this is not the only thing I see. All right, so what happens is that I saw this very cute little candle without any data. So something very funny happens over here. So sometimes when there is a very funny character or candles happen, I will always take note of it. So it is a weekend chart. All right, so when this thing happened, I saw that there along this area there is a we call it, this one is the double Maru King. So I will also label this area too. Okay, this is how I always do my thing. I'm not trying to exaggerate, but I'm just giving you out some hint. A lot of the time when there is a gap or where there is a funny candle happens, there is a lot of liquidity there. All right, so when this thing happens, I will always take note. So what happens is that I have, from my big green zone, right now I already come into smaller zone. Just now we are talking about 280 pips, right? I remember, right? So now it is around 130 pips, 130 pips, 132. Still very big for me. All right, so what happens is that what I can do is that I'll go into smaller, even smaller time frame. So one by one, step by step, if you can see properly, just now I was coming from the daily chart. So this is the 4 hour, and now I'm going into 1 hour. If you can see, I don't use the 2 hour chart, I'll skip it. All right, in this area, there is two lovely zone, right? One thing, one rules of mine, that is my rules. I don't move my box. All right, if you can see, what I do is that I don't move my box. What do I mean is that let's assume I don't want to disturb all this. So let's assume that I already labeled this area as in a higher time frame. When I go to smaller time frame, I don't move around my box. What I'll do is that inside the box, I'll find something smaller. Smaller means that box within the box, that's all. All right, hopefully you guys understand this concept. I don't move my box because once I move my box, the info is incorrect. This is my experience and this is my mistakes. All right, so what happens is that, all right, over here we have two very, very beautiful demand zone, right? So first demand zone, we have it, this one. This is my first demand zone, right? So of course we label it demand zone like this. This is my first demand zone. My first demand zone. All right. And then my second demand zone will be this area. So now that I have two potential entry, right? What should I do? All right. Usually, very honest, I will put two pending order at this area. I will just because what I usually trade is that I don't, let's assume I have $1,000 in my account. I don't put $500 over here, $500 over here. This is not my style. I don't take 50% of my risk. Right? I only take maybe 5 to 10% of my risk. Let's assume $1,000. Maybe here I'm gonna take $50 on this one, $50. That's all. So if I lost both trade, I only lost 10% of my account. So it's easy for me to get it back. So this is what why money management is so important in Forex trading. All right, we don't gamble. We are not gambling. All right, this is not roulette. This is not the baccarat. All right, so this is trading. So we need to know our risk reward. We need to know our money management. So what happens is that I've put two very, very nice pending order at this area. So one is over here for a buy and then the other one over here for a buy. So now let's look at it from 280 something pips to 130 pips. So now my risk is only 23 pips and 19 pips or 20 pips. So it's affordable. You understand? This is what we call affordable. So if I want to go into small time frame, yes, I can, but just that I don't think that it's necessary because this is gold. Okay, XAU USD. So the range is there, right? The range is there. So this is a very, very nice area for us to do our sniper entry. So whether does it trigger or not, let's look at it. All right. So I have my own way of doing it. So this is my first zone, right? Then this is my second zone. Okay, let's see. Right. So that is a bill and the purple color. All right. So let's look at the chart. All right, nicely done. So what happened was that the price came into the first zone. All right, exactly at the first zone, and then it bounced back up. Of course, same thing. I'm not exaggerating. I already took my profit. Reason why? There is a bearish engulfing over here. Can you see bearish engulfing these two candles? And then this is my supply zone. This is my supply zone. You can call me chicken out or whatever. This is how I trade. I trade with safe. I always believe money in the pocket is the best way to trade. I don't want to have a nightmare over the weekend. That's all. End of the story. So I took my profit already over here. And this is my entry. This is my stop loss. So I don't know how much more you want from this kind of trade. So for me, it's a good trade, right? It's a good trade. It's a good trade. So it just give me 1 to 10, 10.6. All right, shouldn't be any problem. So I already took my profit and my trade, and then I'm out of this weekend. I'll look at next weekend what will happen. So like what I told you before, okay, at the beginning of this video, I don't always get the profit. Sometimes I get some loss. It's because sometimes I put two entry zone. If I cannot identify a very true entry zone, usually I have two entry zone. So maybe the first zone, I'll got the lost trade, but the second zone, I'll definitely get into the best trade, and then the risk reward ratio is even better. So that's why I told you I always take 5%, 5%. All right. So if imagine like this kind of trade, okay, I told you already before, 5%, 5%. If I lost 10%, all right, okay, touch wood, right? If I lost both trade 10%. So now if I just put in 5% and my risk reward is, let's assume it's just 10, okay, instead of 10.610. So it means that I get 50% of my account. All right, what else in this world, okay, you can get the business within 1 day? I think this is 2 day. It's from Thursday my time to Friday. Yeah, around 1 day. My one is my time is Monday, Thursday night, and then Friday before the after the NFT. So what else? What else can you expect from this kind of trade? I mean, what business can you get that can give you 50% return? Means that if you put in let's assume 1 million into the bank account or 1 million into a business, within 1 day you get the profit of 50%. Of course, we don't touch about illegal things, right? So this is legitimate, and this is how I do it. All right, so this is a very nice way of trading correctly, and of course learn, practice. Okay, hopefully you guys do understand the concept of supply and demand zone. All right, so hopefully you guys pick up a few tips or tricks about trading supply and demand zone advanced method. So see you guys next time. So if you guys like the videos that I do for you, please give me a like and do subscribe. All right, see you guys. Bye.